Welcome and greetings. My name is Trista Samo, and this video, which is a chair-based practice, is all around self-care and wellness breaks, and we really particularly need it right now. A lot of the practices can be standalone, individual, because I believe in the Japanese concept of Kaizen. Do one thing every day at the same time to look after your well-being for at least 1 minute. It will form a habit, and eventually that 1 minute one day could become 20 minutes. Now, you could follow this practice as a full one as well. Just a little bit of a background to why we really need to work on our wellness and our self-care is that when our brain goes in an anxious loop, we get very much trapped inside of our heads. And that can have an effect on our well-being because it suppresses our immune system. So the practice we're going to follow today helps us to feel calm and centered and grounded, so we feel safe and secure, and it dials down that anxious stress loop in the brain. It will help to release muscle tension because when we are stressed, and also living in our heads, as I've just said, our body goes into a tight protective mode in preparation for fight or flight. So we are loosening the muscles in the body, and we'll be working on areas such as opening up the shoulders, the back, standing stretches, balance and hip stretches, but also in particular at the end, a 3-minute breathing space, which is based on mindfulness. So let's begin, okay, seated on a chair. I've got blocks underneath my feet because I'm very short of the lower body. So what we are going to look at, obviously, is we're going to work on what I call interoceptive cues, or in other words, sensing, being curious and investigating what's going on in our bodies. The reason why is because if we feel okay, we can get out of our heads and really drop into our body. So let's do that first of all by also really working on the outside and then going in. I do something first of all called orientation. It tells your fear center of your brain that you're in a safe place, and that's really important. You're dialing down the stress response. So we're going to orientate. So look around the room and find 5 things. They could be of the same colour, they could be of a specific shape or something of interest. This reminds you what you can control in your life. So whatever goes on in the world out there, you're safe here with you and in your own space. So try to relax and soften your jaw and your face as you're looking around and orientating yourself within the environment. And then feel the floor, feel your feet, feel your skin, feel your hands, feel any temperature or texture, and really feel the chair beneath you. That's really important. Move your attention really down into your feet and just wiggle them a little bit. Just push down and connect into the ground. And really bring your attention into your legs, into your seat and your lower back. Notice all the places that contact your body. And a really good grounding visualization that helps you feel safe is to imagine that there are roots planting you deep into the earth. And then bring attention to your hands, feel them probably resting against your thighs. And then rub them together and feel the sensation. So we're dropping out of our anxious minds and feeling our bodies and really feel that friction and the warmth. Now, if you're like me and you put an alcohol rub on today, connecting with your 5 senses, including smell, is a good one. So just see if you can smell anything on your hands. It could be hand cream. Excellent. And then just slowly attend to your feet and the floor again, and then press your feet into the floor, alternating as if you're walking into place. Really shift and notice what's going on there. Now, this is a really interesting technique, this walking in place. Really notice the difference between relaxation and activation of the legs. So if you're feeling really, really triggered, really, really, really spacey in your head, this helps you to get grounding down into the body. Just to really work on your 5 senses again, just allow your tongue to tickle your soft palate and your gums. Or maybe you could put some gum or a sweet in your mouth or something like that. So if you see, you feel, you smell and you taste, the other thing we've missed out is hearing. So as we're pressing into the floor, alternating as if we're walking on the spot, your fight or flight response wants you to run away from danger, anything that's stressing you out. You're actually tricking your body that you're going into this flight response because you're walking. And also as well, we can go into freeze as well when we're very, very anxious. So when we go into freezes, we don't want to do anything. It's that real sort of deep sense of not wanting to move or not wanting to get out of bed. So this activates your movement. So I'm feeling the sensation of my feet pressing into the floor. I'm feeling the activation in my abdominals, my thighs, feeling the hips on the floor, and I'm focusing on the sensation of what's going on. The tension, the muscle dynamics, the feeling and the pressure of my feet. Now obviously we need to listen to what we can hear. Now you might hear obvious sounds. I'm still pressing into the floor. You might hear obvious sounds, you might hear birds, you might hear traffic, depending on where you are. It could be music, it could be my voice. It could be more subtler sounds. It could be the whirring of a heater, the soft sound of your breath, maybe a gentle breeze if your window is open. And then just come to a still position and just notice your sensations and your thoughts and the emotional tone as you come back to a pause. And then we're just going to check in with the body and the heart. Imagine that you're in the airport and you're going through the security scanner. That was a long time ago, wasn't it? And then we're just going to check in. You can have your eyes closed or a soft gaze. Okay. Move your attention inwards, inside. And then see if you can notice any areas of tension, any areas of relaxation, or any areas of numbness. And you might want to start with the top of the feet, more moving all the way up to the lower legs, upper legs, and the hips, torso, shoulders, arms and hands, the neck and the face and the head. Now a really good trick here is if you've noticed anything, you name it to tame it. So if you feel triggered or worried or emotional, you can name that emotion, you can name that sensation, you can name how you are feeling, because that's another thing. We've checked in with our body, that's really important because we're practicing mindfulness, we're practicing self-care, we know how we feel, we don't want to push through anything. We're listening to our bodies, and that's the whole point of self-care. Check in with your mind speak. How fast, for example, is your mind going? What thoughts are going through your mind, for example? What are you experiencing? And if it's challenging, name to tame. You can imagine that your mind is like a car. How fast is it going? And then check in with your heart space, your emotions. How are you feeling today? Notice, name to tame. Maybe a word or an image or an emoji perhaps speaks to you about how you're feeling on an emotional level. When we practice mindfulness, we don't judge, we're curious and we don't push away. The more that we push away, the more it's like quicksand. The more we struggle against difficult emotions, the more it will suck us in. Lovely. And then let's start with doing some work on the body. We're going to do long exhalations, calm, and long inhalations, energize. So we're going to do a fist breathing exercise. So on the inhale, squeeze your fists really, really tight on the inhale, breathing in through your nose. And then on the exhale, just release and place your hands on your thighs. See if you can make your exhale longer than your inhale so that you bring your body into that relaxation response. Let's do that 4 more times. Inhale, squeeze. Long, slow out breath. Again, inhale. Again. One more time. Out through the mouth as if you're dropping weighted bags of shopping and all that emotional baggage. Inhale. And one for good measure. So, squeeze and release, again, that fight or flight response, you're releasing that tension. Let's gently shake out the hands, again, working with that fight or flight response in your anxious brain. Now, you can always tell when you're anxious because you tend to not be able to think or being able to concentrate. So, this will really help you as a wellness break to focus. You can do this at work, you can do it in your break, you can do it at lunch. So, really shake your hands out. Now, shake them out harder. See how that feels. Focus on the sensation. Focus on the muscle dynamics. Feel how that moves through your body. You might notice your feet again and your hips on the floor, keeping yourself grounded at all times, getting out of your head. And then just bring your hands back to your thighs to centre, to stillness, and just notice the sensations, the quality of how you feel. You might notice perhaps your heart beating a little bit faster. Again, bringing your body into this awareness, getting out of the head. So let's work with opening the shoulders and the back, because when we're over a computer and we're working hard, we round our shoulders and we trap that tension in the neck and it makes breathing difficult. We need good breathing, excellent digestion, really good for your stress response release. Okay, so let's open up those shoulders a little bit. Let's do some gentle shoulder rolls first of all to just warm everything up. You can choose which direction you'd like to go. You can squeeze as you bring your shoulder blades back. You can really bring your shoulders up to your ears so you can work with that tension, squeeze and release. Just rotating and then the opposite direction. Nice. Now if you've been working on a computer, you're rounding over, aren't you? And you're trapping that tension in your neck is coming forward with your chin. So it makes the front muscles tight, the muscles in the back slack, and your abdominal area loosen, tight hamstrings, tight hips, all these things from over-sitting. So let's work on a little bit of neck stretches now. So I'm going to take my right hand so it touches the chair, side of the chair. A nice long spine, lifting out of my hips, my chin parallel to the floor, and exhale, drop my left ear towards my left shoulder. Just notice any kind of muscle dynamics going down there. And if you want to take that stretch a little bit further, you can rotate your nose towards your armpit. I call this the armpit sniff. And you can keep going backwards and forwards, rotating in a diagonal, your nose up towards the ceiling, towards the right, and then down towards the left, towards the armpit. Nice deep stretch. And then release, just roll that out, and let's do the opposite side. Right hand holding onto the side of the chair, if that feels available to you. Drop that right ear to right shoulder. Nice long spine, lifting out the hips so you're not slouching out. I'm a little bit away from the chair, and that really helps because we're working on posture as well. Posture is really important. So I'm going to bring my nose up towards my armpit. I'm going to rotate it all the way over to the left. And exhale down. And down. Up and down and backwards and forwards, and then just roll it out and release. Let's get some more tension out of the shoulder blades and the back area as well. So take my arm up into the air, just gently guiding the elbow up towards the ceiling, and then bringing my right palm in between my shoulder blades, and very, very gently with my left hand on my right elbow, I'm pulling very gently my elbow towards the left. Try to tuck your lower ribs in. Really concentrate on your core, your centre, your sense of agency and power. We do feel a little bit sort of disenfranchised. We feel as though we've lost a sense of personal control during sort of the pandemic. And this sort of focusing on your abdomen can really help you to feel your sense of personal power if you get in touch with your abs. So tuck your lower ribs in, feel your core, and release. And just roll the shoulder blades out, opposite side. Palm in between the shoulder blades, elbow point up towards the ceiling, and exhale. Nice. So I'm gently with my right hand pulling my left elbow to the right. and release. Roll that out. Well, eagle arms, we've got two options. Well, I think this is one's nice as well, but eagle arms is quite a little bit complicated in a yoga position. So instead, we're just going to take our arms wide and we're going to cross one elbow across on top of the other with our fingers wrapping around the back of our shoulder blades as tight as we can. And this hug's quite nice. We don't get much hugs, do we, at the moment? Oxytocin, that kind of feel-good, lovey-dovey hormone. So really hug and squeeze and lift your elbows up towards the ceiling on the inhale, and really feel that stretch across your back. And then release. Roll it out if it feels like you want to, and then opposite side, so the other elbow's on top. Really get that tight, get your fingers right onto your shoulder blades and lift your elbows up nice and tight. Feel that stretch. And lovely. And release. Roll the shoulders out. So we're working on there. Nice. Put your hands on your knees if that feels available to you, and a little bit of cat-cow mobilisation. So I'll turn around so you get a little bit of an awareness of what's going on there. Okay, so my hands are on my knees, and I'm going to round my spine and drop my head towards my chin on the exhale. Really, really round and push your spine in between your shoulder blades, and then inhale, arch your chest and your back forward, lift your chin. This is called cat-cow. So alternate, exhale, round, inhale, and stretch. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. I'm coming to neutral, checking in and notice how you feel. Nice little stretch here as well, opening up the front area, the pectorals that can get quite tight. You can interlace your fingers or grab your forearm. So I'm going to interlace my fingers behind my back. Nice big inhale, lifting out of my hips, nice tall spine, chin parallel to the floor, and squeeze your shoulder blades together on the inhale. Lift your hands as high as they'll go away from your back. Otherwise you can do it like this. Or you can hold something in between your arms, such as a strap, a ruler, anything that you've got on your desk, an old tie, your lanyard. Pull, nice, and release. Okay, so let's do some standing stretches. Standing stretches are really important because what we're going to do is this fight or flight protective response is going to make your hamstrings quite tight. So I'm going to move the chair around a little bit. So it gets very, very sort of overprotective. So another stretch I'm going to do is, so I'm going to take my right foot forward so it's near the back of the chair, and take my left foot as far back as it will go comfortably. My right foot is pointing to 12 o'clock, but my left foot behind is pointing to 11 a.m. Okay. And if you've got a chair that's got wheels on it or whatever, you can always step back or you can push the chair forward. Okay, now really ground down and press into that back foot and squeeze the thigh of that left leg so you protect your kneecap. Okay, we're going to come into something that's called a pyramid stretch. Try to keep your hip points and your hips square facing forward. But I'm just going to place my hands on the top of the chair and slide them forward. But you can, if you've got a chair that's got wheels, you can push that forward. So nice big inhale to lift and lengthen. Okay. And then bend your front knee so it's just above your front ankle. So you're coming into a version which is called Warrior One. Okay. So, and then you can take your hands here or here. Okay. Lift and lengthen throughout the hips. Lift your lower abs up towards your head. Powerful. Okay. Really feel that power in your legs and really focus on the sensation in the thighs, the hips, the feet on the floor. And then we're going to come into this pyramid stretch. So straighten your front leg, squeeze both your quads, lift your kneecaps up towards the sky, and slide with a flat back, folding from your hip crease. I'm sliding my arms forward and I'm dropping my head. Or you can push the chair and drop your head in between your triceps and biceps. Okay. Nice. And then place your hands on your hips and lift all the way up. We're going to come into a tree pose. Really good grounding postural pose. Brings your attention and your focus back, particularly if you're really sort of spacing out. So coming into tree pose, I've got two or three options here. Heel to ankle, ground down into that standing foot, strong leg. Okay, just use your chair below your ankle or just above your ankle, wherever you're feeling today. Now you're using a spot for focus, okay? Root to rise, lift and lengthen, lift your lower abs up towards your head, nice strong, roll those shoulder blades back, strong core. Rotate that knee out to the side, come into your tree pose. Imagine, okay, like we said before, for this grounding sensation, feel connected to the ground and imagine those roots going down through the floor, connecting you to the earth. Okay, think of the idea of the tree. When we think of the idea of the tree, that sense of resilience, whatever's going on around it is still pretty stable and strong. You can use your chair for balance. Really good for concentration and focus because you're looking at a spot on the floor. And then when you're ready, release, wiggle that hips around, and let's come into warrior one. Okay, pyramid fold and tree on the opposite side. So left foot placing at 12 o'clock, right foot as far back as it wants to go, pointing at 1 o'clock, hips square to the front. You've got your chair there for support. Okay, press down into that back leg, nice and strong thighs. Drop that front knee over your ankle. Okay, you can place and really lift out of your hips, strong core, lift your lower abs up, tall to the crown of your head. You can lift your arms up if that feels comfortable. Just think about where you feel. Okay, really be curious and investigate tension and ease, where you feel that muscle dynamic and the pressure in the floor in this posture. Think of the pose as well, warrior. You are embodying that strength of the posture. You can do anything. You've got that strength and resilience to get through anything that life throws at you. So then as we straighten our front leg, okay, really engaging the quads to release the hamstrings, because these get very tight from over-sitting, remember, on that protective response. You can come into your fold from your hip crease. You can slide your hands over the top of your chair, or you can push your chair forward. Slight micro bend in the knee. Okay, drop your hands, come as far forward as it feels natural. Okay, you might find you don't go very low. That's all up to how tense you are. Okay, try to keep a flat back and a nice strong core, pulling your lower ribs in. And then coming up with a flat back, using your chair, coming into your tree on the left foot. So remember, ground down, remember those imaginary roots, really feel the pressure, strong leg. Rotate this knee out to the side. So you've got heel to ankle, a little bit of a kickstand, just underneath the knee or above. Focus, okay, I'm just going to go there. Really lift your lower abs up towards you, tall to the crown of the head, hug in and lift those lower abs. Strong standing leg, wherever you want to be. You might want to challenge yourself, looking at a spot on the floor, and take your hands where you want to be. Or Vogue. Get a bit RuPaul. And then release and wiggle it out. Fantastic. So, little bit there. Now that let's work a little bit on a hip stretch. I find it very useful, a hip stretch. Sometimes we yoga teachers talk about our hips being jump draws for the emotions, but they will get tight, particularly as a protective response if you're stressed. When I was a school teacher, I was really, really tight. Really, really tight. And it's amazing how much my body has relaxed since I've moved on from that career. So let's see if we can come into a hip stretch, okay, and we can release this area around here. So it's up to you where you want to go with this. I'm using blocks, but you can also use dictionaries or books to put underneath your feet, depending on, I'm quite a small person, okay. So it's up to you. Come to the front of your chair, if that feels comfortable. And If that's available to you and you can place your ankle on top of, now I've got the block underneath my foot so I can get my knee up. It depends where you want to go. If the chair's higher, it makes it easier, okay? So if that feels available to you, okay, try to keep that knee down. Always flex the feet rather than point in yoga to protect your knees. And you're coming into a deep hip stretch, okay? This is like a version of pigeon. If that's too much for you, straighten out, have the bottom leg straight, first of all, place the ankle on top and slowly lift up the bottom knee until that feels as though that's about as far as you want to go. So you can stay here, okay, stay in this position, tall through the crown of the head, hugging and lifting up the lower abs, breathing in into the stretch, feeling the sensation, feeling where you feel the dynamics. If you want to go a little bit further, you can inhale to lengthen and fold the flat back, lean with your heart centre, hip stretch here. Don't forget to breathe. And inhale to lift and lengthen. Opposite side. So yet again, straighten out that bottom leg, that left leg, and I place my right ankle on top. And I just slowly straighten this bottom leg until it feels as though it's just enough for me for the hip stretch. Okay, take that foot nice and flexed. Inhale to lift and lengthen to the crown of the head, hugging those up lower abs. Again, be curious and investigate areas of tension and ease in this version of seated pigeon. Stay here if that feels comfortable, or inhale to lift and lengthen and fold the flat back, leading with the heart centre. And really focus on the breath, especially the exhales, helps you to move through where you're feeling that stretch, particularly when you're feeling that it's like, ooh, strong muscle dynamic. And then inhale to lift and lengthen. And if you need to shake it all out, let's come into a little bit of a twist, just to keep mobilising the spine. Nice big inhale. I'll put my feet on the blocks again because I'm so short. I like being short. Nice big. You can, if you want, you can sit to the side. It's up to you and do the twist. It's up to you, but I'm going to do it facing the front. I've got my hips at the front of my chair. Nice big inhale to lift and lengthen, hugging the lower abs. Okay, and then place your opposite hand to knee and then twist. Make sure you lengthen before you twist on the exhale. And turn your head if it feels comfortable, but if it doesn't, keep it at the front. Make sure you inhale to lift and lengthen before you exhale, come back towards centre, and then we'll do that the opposite side. Feet hip distance apart. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, twist. And inhale, lift and lengthen before you exhale, release. And just a little bit of a nice fold to finish the practice. I'm taking my feet quite wide here, just to come into very, your folds in yoga are very calming. I'm placing my feet on the blocks and taking my knees quite wide. I'm comfortably not at the edge of the back of my chair. Nice big inhale. Fold from your hip crease with a flat back, lead with your heart centre. If you've got a table in front of you because you're working from an office, you can place your hands on your table there, or if you want to let everything completely go, just totally round your spine and just let your head hang and let the back of your neck soften on the floor and just let everything dangle. And just release all that tension in your lower back. And just make your head really, really heavy. And then slowly roll up. Press your feet into the floor and slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Bringing up to a flat back and lengthen. And then we're going to work on and finishing with a 3-minute breathing practice, which is mindfully focused. So, a breathing practice or a mindfulness practice standing alone is fantastic. Just taking 10 deep inhales and exhales and focusing on them is also good. So, coming to the front of your chair seat, hands on your thighs, feet hip distance apart, spine long, sense of dignity and ease at the same time, eyes closed or a soft gaze looking ahead of you. Just bring your awareness into your inner experience for 1 minute. And just notice what you're experiencing right here, right now. What thoughts are going through your mind? What sensations? Again, checking in the body. Where do you feel tight? Where do you feel stiff? Try to be curious. Try to investigate. Feel to heal. Without pushing anything away. Without becoming attached. Just being aware. You can perhaps say to yourself, I feel this, or name to tame. Notice sensation, pulsation, thoughts, emotions. And bring your focus now to your abdomen. This centering practice will help you to feel a sense of agency and power. You can place your hands on your belly if that helps. And we'll move into the anchoring of this grounding and centering practice by focusing on the breath. Use your belly as a guide. Notice each inhale and each exhale. The rise and fall of the abdomen. And if it helps to anchor your breath, breathe in for the count of 4 and exhale for the count of 4 in a smooth flow, without any pauses, for 1 minute. And if your mind wanders, you just keep coming back to the counting, coming back to the sensation of the abdomen, the rise and fall. Now, see if you can expand your awareness to the sense of your body as a whole with each inhale and each exhale. Imagine with each inhale you feel an expansion and lift with the entire body, letting go of the counting. And with each exhale you feel a contraction and a downward motion. You can imagine that you are expanding your whole body on the in-breath and lifting and getting wider and wider, and on the exhale, contracting small and going down into the earth. Just practice that expansion and contraction for 1 minute, and if your mind wanders, simply come back to your focus. Now just let go of that awareness of the breath. Feel your weight against the chair, your feet against the floor. Notice sounds. Allow your tongue to flick over your soft palate, your gums and your teeth. And just rub your hands if your eyes are closed, and just rub your hands and just place them on your face, touch your face. So you come back to an awareness of where you are and just look where you are in the room. You might want to squeeze your shoulders. Feel the sense of squeeze your legs so you come back to your body, you know, squeezing all the way down, touching the sides, maybe even a little bit of tiny pattering or tapping. It always helps to come back to the where you are. And we'll finish the practice by doing 3 gratitude thoughts. It's proven to improve well-being. So I want you to think of 3 things that you're grateful for today, and maybe even your part in those things. It's been proven that those people who are grateful for everything they have rather than worrying what they haven't have the greatest amount of happiness. So I just want you to silently think of 3 things that you're grateful for. It can be as simple as a cup of lovely tea and a biscuit. To seal the practice, I thank you very much. Namaste.